Today, I'm going to be reacting to Andrew Morgan's watch collection. Some of you may know him as Talking Hands. Others may know him as Watchfinder. But I know him simply as Andrew, the GOAT in the watch industry. Let's crack in.
Once upon a time, I was a one watch in, one watch out kind of guy. Not anymore. Things have got a little out of control.
Yeah, that tends to happen.
So when an SBGV 245 popped up for sale for around £1,000, I bought it. Literally the only pictures I'd ever seen of it were the ones in the advert. And it's...
I agree, Grand Seiko's quality is exceptional. Grand Seiko as a brand is pretty exceptional. What they are doing is brilliant. The innovation behind the spring drive movement, amazing. However, this is a bit boring. I mean, Grand Seiko themselves are the king of dials in my opinion, and this dial is... I mean, there's not much there. You've got a 3 o'clock date window, in my opinion, putting this watch off balance. The polishing is amazing, by the way. The quality on the hands and the indices, incredible. And I do love the strap that it's paired with, but it's just a bit boring to me.
This Tudor Blancpain 58 is the first watch that broke the one in, one out policy.
Now we're talking. Now we're talking. And by the way, Andrew, that strap that you've combined with that Tudor Blancpain, oof.
Looking at it for literally years, but because it's not exactly inspiring, I could never commit to it. No, it's kind of plain and boring. But then, so...
I would disagree. I think that the Tudor Blancpain 58 is fundamentally more fun than the Submariner. And the reason being is because it has more vintage-esque stuff thrown in there. I mean, the gold gilt. You have the red splash on the bezel. You have the different colors of the Blancpain heritage lines that you can choose between. All of this in unison kind of is more fun than Rolex.
My favourite thing about watches is probably the part I can least afford. Craftsmanship. I like nothing better than to look at a simple but well-finished movement.
That's exactly the same as me. And actually, I was in the Glasgow Original factory last year. Maybe, was it last year, Drew? Potentially 2 years ago. I'm getting a little bit old. But I was looking at all these watches the craftsmanship, the level of craftsmanship was just unbelievable, and I couldn't afford any of them.
Then I discovered pocket watches, chiefly the Hamilton 992B. This is a 1950s railroad watch, and it cost me somewhere in the region of £250.
Is it just me that thinks only Andrew could pull that off? Like, only the GOAT in the watch industry could pull that off. That is awesome. And I love how he's keeping the pocket watch kind of system alive. I know that Peaky Blinders definitely reinvigorated that ecosystem. However, it's not something you see every day. And that's something that you only bring to probably red bar events and watch events, because otherwise people see you as a massive nerd.
I actually swapped the screw-down case back and front, so I can't actually tell the time with it, but I can easily enjoy the movement.
I've got to respect that. You buy a watch and you just cover the face so you can't tell the time just to see the movement. That is just Andrew through and through. That is awesome. Well in.
This watch, the Casio F...
What a banger. That is awesome. Casio F91W, 10 quid, 9 quid. It's the watch that everyone starts with. It's the watch that everyone probably ends with. It is awesome.
So when I had the opportunity to make a video on the Omi Watari, I realised there was an opportunity to enjoy all of these things at nothing like the cost of the Longines.
See, that is a Grand Seiko to me. That is a genuine piece of art that is a Grand Seiko. It has that spring drive movements. It has that beautiful dial, and combine that with the beautiful polishing. That is a sexy watch. And that to me is everything that his previous Grand Seiko was missing.
And he found this for me, a Jequier à Paris quarter repeater that's just about 2 centuries old.
Never heard of the brand, never heard of that at all, but that looks awesome. There's something with so much personality when it comes to vintage watches. You can tell that they've been through something. It's almost like looking at your gran or grandpa's face. You can see the stories written on their face because of the age. and that's beautiful.
Repeater complications are pretty boring from the back as everything is dial side, so I asked German to remove the dial for me, which I have separately. It's chain driven. Depress the pusher and it all goes into motion, chiming the hours and quarters like it's not even 200 years old. I don't even wind it. I leave it at just before midnight, so every time I use the repeater, it always gives me the maximum chime. The next watch Charlotte and I bought together was the Moonswatch. She really wanted one. I wasn't that bothered.
I think every single watch collector out there, let me know in the comments if you agree, probably has a Moonswatch. This one wasn't my favorite, however, I am so on board with what the Moonswatch entailed, what it did for the industry. It drove a huge amount of traffic to the industry. And actually, the gentleman himself, Mr. Hayek, said that pre or after the Moonswatch's sales, the Moonwatch's sales rose significantly because of the amount of people that brought into our industry. And that is incredible. And by the way, Andrew, your strap that you put on this, absolutely sick. Love it. It kind of reminds me of being 10 again, that kind of like alligator style red and black, but it honestly looks sick. It's awesome.
This one, rather amusingly called Howard, is a lot smaller than the Hamilton and basically answered a question that I'd had about these pocket watch movements. Was the Hamilton only good because it was big? The Howard is getting towards a size.
Wow, look at that movement. I'm not really for pocket watches, but watching Andrew's video is pretty inspiring. I'm not gonna lie. Would I get one? Probably. Nah. Well, probably not. I hope everyone knows that you are funding Andrew Morgan.
Surprises, but Charlotte got it absolutely spot on. I think I got her a DVD or something.
People still buy DVDs? Is that still a thing?
And what was even more amazing was that Charlotte gifted me a Casio A500 WEA for my birthday, a world timer. I wore it throughout the trip, especially when flying, and the world time function was genuinely useful and easy to use.
That is absolutely incredible. Not only has he got an absolutely unbelievable Casio, but he's linked that to a memory in his career, in his life. And that is what watches are for. You should look at your watch and be reminded of a time when you were happy, of a time that you were celebrating, of a time that just means a lot to you. That is the watch industry summed up. I think that you can't put a price on sentimental value, and sentimental stuff is what means the most to people. I mean, all watches tell the time, but the difference is the kind of memory that you create with that watch. Awesome.
Just long enough to get a good sense of a watch and its foibles. But when the 12 came in for a week, I told them I wouldn't be able to get it back in time before we left for America for a few weeks. So they said, that's fine, take it with you. So I did. They'd sent steel and titanium versions with bracelets and straps, and I picked out the titanium on rubber to wear. I was already impressed with the watch, but it just felt so comfortable to wear day to day and looked so good that...
The Christopher Ward 12 is an absolutely unbelievable watch. They as a brand are rocketing into new levels in the watch industry at the moment, and I absolutely love that. I mean, seeing a great British brand is quite rare nowadays. I mean, it's normally great Swiss brand or great German brand. Very rarely or seldom do you see great British and brand paired together. Now, to top off, Christopher Ward's customer service, quality watches are incredible. And I know that I went on about issue I was having with the Christopher Ward bracelet. Essentially, the screws were coming out of that bracelet. I got a call from Christopher Ward the day that I put up the video or the story on Instagram, Chisholm Hunter Watches, sorting that issue and apologizing for that issue. And that just shows the amazing customer service that this brand have, as well as an amazing product. So Christopher Ward, you're smashing it well in. Well, that is Andrew Morgan's watch collection, an inspiration to the watch industry, an inspiration to me and many other YouTubers like me. So thank you so much, Andrew, for being you, for being a watch nerd, and for making this industry special. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys real soon.